All right, call this meeting to order. Determine there's a quorum present. Commissioner Wardlaw, Commissioner Vasquez, Commissioner Nettleton, Commissioner Flores, and myself. We have a quorum. Commissioner Nettleton, would you lead us in the pledge of allegiance, please, sir?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approving minutes.
Second.
Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Aye. 5-0 vote. Citizens' comments. We have none. Approving monthly report from elected officials.
Second.
Motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor?
Aye.
5-0 vote. Approving bills for payment.
Move second.
Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor?
Aye.
5-0 vote. Folks, if y'all will, yes, did you have something?
No, I thought we were going to item 8. I'm sorry.
Heck, we can. We'll get this done real quick. Item 8, auditor's report.
Motion. Second.
I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. 5-0 vote. Item 9, discuss possible action on the following budget adjustments, utilities, $24,000. Matt, we talked about this yesterday.
We did. Attorney to other judge.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to take it out of attorney's other.
Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton,
Second.
second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor?
Aye.
5-0 vote. Item 2, other hospital, $1,757. There's money under sheriff, doctor, medical.
Motion to take it out of sheriff's budget under doctor and medical.
Second.
Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. 5-0 vote. County judge, $574.20. All supply into capital outlet for the purchase of a printer.
Move second.
Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. 5-0 vote. Purchase Department, $1,481 from travel and training to capital.
Move.
Have a motion,
Second.
have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Aye. 5-0 vote. Commissioner's office, $892.99 from Moss Splash to purchase a shredder.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor?
Aye.
5-0 vote. B, $1,000 reimbursed to grant account from available appropriations. This is for
Auto maintenance special. This is from the grant accounts that were denied through the grant. And if you want.
Oh, expenditures that are.
Yeah, and expenditures if you want. We can talk about an executive session or not, but there's room in the grants, in the veterans account under grant.
to move it over.
Correct.
Okay, I'll make a motion to move it out of, you said the veterans?
Correct.
Out of the veterans account to cover this.
Second.
Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. 5-0 vote. Treasurer's report, none. And with that, we're going to go to item 33, closed session consultation pursuant to Texas Government Code A 551, parentheses 071, parentheses 2, attorney-client privilege, not the first parentheses, B 551.071, parentheses 1, parentheses 8, contemplated litigation, C 551.072, regarding the purchase, exchange, lease, and value of the property. If y'all will please give us the room, this won't take long.
Recording stopped.
Now it's got working check.
Back to order, it's 10:05. We talked a lot in the executive session, no action was taken. Tom? Let's throw that out there. We're gonna go to item 11, discussion on immigrants. Folks, I will tell you that it's been just a heck of the last 2 weeks. I'm gonna go over some of the stuff that everybody went through. Last Commissioners Court 2 weeks ago, we were informed here that, basically had 3,600 individuals underneath the bridge. Wednesday, that number was 4,500. Thursday was 8,200. At 7:13 in the morning, and then by 8 o'clock in the afternoon, it was 10,667. Friday morning, 12,155. When the buses started rolling, they had moved 1,800 individuals out Friday, and then Saturday, in the morning, we were at 14,337, and a couple hours later, we were at 14,800. So with everything that went on, I will tell you that when they started moving the buses on Friday and then the flights on Sunday, if we had not had state of Texas come in, and I guess the term that was used down there, the Iron Curtain, to slow or to stop these individuals, we would have never been able to catch up. On Thursday of this past week, we were down to 9,300. Wednesday, about 5,100. Thursday in the morning, 3,600. And then on Friday in the morning, we were 225. In a couple hours, 145. And by lunch, we were at 0. People asked, there was individuals born. We had 11 babies born. 5 of them actually in an ambulance. One of them was actually born down there. They delivered them on site, and the rest of them were at the hospital or in pediatrics or somewhere in the hospital that were born. Individuals that were down there on Thursday and on Wednesday and Thursday had numbers of, I guess around the 15th, we were about 1,500 individuals down there. On Thursday morning, the report that we received Thursday morning was that there was over 2,300, I guess, non-illegals down there. You're talking by just law enforcement, staff, moving tractors, building tents, the ambulances, you name it, but there was over 2,300 there Thursday morning. So it grew from, I think on the 18th, around 1,500, and we ended up about 2,300. The number that we received on Thursday of DPS officers in our community, over 700. So there was ambulances, an ambulance brought in for law enforcement. Then there was tents built during the whole process of all this. Down there, the facility that was put up for the immigrants was unbelievable. They had over 35 medical personnel, and they could have housed upwards of 120 individuals in these tents. So all day long, you saw people, you saw people underneath the bridge going from there. If they needed help, they were taken to the tents. If they needed to stay, they stayed. If not, they were brought back. It was unbelievable the amount of support that our law enforcement had. We had calls from all over the state. I mean, it was just freaking unbelievable. On Sunday, a week ago, this past Sunday, we're in South Del Rio, and I guess they've moved cars up, DPS and the National Guard, up around Qualia and then back around Vic Boner Lane in that area. If there wasn't 50 cars, there was nobody down there. But I will tell you that it was amazing. There was people there from the neighborhood walking around with coffee. By one of the telephone posts, they just sort of set up shop and water, Gatorade, snacks. Phone call this morning, I was visiting with a person this morning, and last night, they offered their, I guess their little guest house or whatever they have on their property. And there was 3 female officers that ended up staying with them at no cost. And I get a little bit choked up about this because they said that it's a damn thing for it to happen here, but if it was going to happen anywhere, this is probably the best place for it to happen. The support, and you have so many different agencies with so much authority, and I'm talking just, they could shut it down, give us all, whatever. But there was not, no egos, wasn't a pissing contest. Nobody was jumped out in front of it. I was allowed to sit in some of the meetings that they were holding, and just to see the working together, the respect for each other, it was unbelievable. It's something that, Jesus Christ, I hope we never have to go through again. But after listening to all these individuals down there, and I'm going to quit here in a minute, but in listening to all these individuals down there, of the respect that they have for our sheriff, unbelievable. We had people even that on Monday of last week visiting with a guy here at the courthouse, and he's upset. Ain't supposed to be here. These people ain't supposed to be here. They're illegals, and we go through that whole conversation. And then he says, what do we need to do to help? And I said, well, I think law enforcement's okay. He said, no, that's not what I'm talking about. What do we need to do for the people under the bridge? Well, I just listened to his shit for about 15 minutes. Basically, they shouldn't be here. They shouldn't do this. They shouldn't do that. But then you hit that on the humanitarian side. But it was unbelievable. The bridge closing, y'all know my feelings on that. I think it needed to happen. It was one of those deals that just for the safety, and I guess I'm going to go ahead and say it, for the safety on the record, I guess it would be for the safety and the well-being of everybody at the port and everybody else. But in reality, the other part that plays into it, and everybody already knows this, it's not being said, but everybody knows this. It had to happen in order to get people's attention. It's that damn simple. It's always about the dollars. It starts costing people money. People start paying attention. I think the first thing, well, I'm not going to say I think, I know that the first thing that came to the mayor's mind Friday morning was, the people at the port. What happens if they jump the little 4-foot fence? What if these other go back? What happens if the immigrants jump the 4-foot fence? Not the port people, but what happens? I mean, and so there was a lot of concerns. I will tell you, a week ago this past Thursday, there was comments on the media that that they weren't taken care of. Commissioner, I went down there Wednesday. Matter of fact, Commissioner Nettleton and his wife already had it scheduled, and I couldn't get there. And by the time that they headed down there, Sheriff says, well, they're in the truck. And I said, well, if you wait 5 minutes, I'll go with you. But, you saw, I mean, the number just kept growing. And at that point, they were literally going back and forth to Mexico, go get food, go charge their phones. I mean, it was people don't think that it's a closed border. Yeah, I got nothing coming. But they were just going and coming. I mean, it was, we had people bringing water and selling water, even though there was water there, but they were bringing water and bringing orange sodas and Cokes across to come sell. We talked, a little while ago we were visiting. I mean, people set up barbershops to cut hair as the weeks went on. I mean, there was a lady that was braiding hair with little beads. But, I'm not going to say media, but for it to be put out that they weren't fed or whatever, some of these individuals that were in the trees didn't want to come out. They were literally going and getting plates or would send somebody out to get food. But on, it was either Thursday or Friday, basically there wasn't enough food ordered for their needs. I hate using that word, but there wasn't enough food ordered. And there was a press conference going to be done in the morning, and they were concerned about the media and getting people too close because you might have people get mad but you had agents down there that it was the same food, everybody eating the same stuff, but they'd put food aside for the agents, and they sort of put them in little trailers or whatever so they could sort of eat a little bit, but they went and got food. They went and got their food to make sure that the immigrants were, that they didn't go hungry. So for people to say, was it the best circumstances for people, whoever, to be in? No, hell no. But there was no way on God's green earth that you could come up with 16,000 cots. Wasn't gonna happen. But there was water all the time, there was food, there was baby formula, there was Pampers, it was like its own little city. And we're getting numbers that about 16,000, we were talking a little while ago, what I got text last night was probably upwards of 21,000. It's not a solid number, but Commissioner Nettleton reminded me a little while ago that they'd already put that one out. So, but that is a text message that I got last night. There's probably going to be upwards of about 21,000. And the guy asked me not to say it, but I'm not real good with secrets. And I was even told during this whole process, you really can't say that, Judge. Can't bring that up. But it was just an enormous outpouring of support for our law enforcement. Our community stepped up. I want to thank individuals from Valverde County, all over the state of Texas, that just with their heart, you would walk into a restaurant and go to pay for DPS's meals, or go to pay for Border Patrol, people that were there, or anybody wearing a uniform. It didn't matter whether it was gray, green, blue, or beige, or whatever y'all wear, but you walk in and want to go pay, and tell you couldn't, because there was already 3 people in front of you that, somebody had already paid, and there was a line of people to pay for it. It's just amazing, folks. One of the other things is you had one day, you had one day that the numbers that were given to us, I guess on Wednesday, they had 54 big buses running, 60 little passenger vans running. So, this was something that nobody's ever seen before. They had an issue in Mission, but nothing to this size. The numbers that I got today were that 3,400 individuals so far have been flown back to Haiti. You do the math, the percentage-wise, it's just not, there's just not a lot of people flown back for the amount of people that were here. And I know we're anxious to get to a couple of other items, but before we get to them, I will tell you that I wrote down some talking points, and it's the same stuff over and over again. If we're going to spend money, and one of the things that we talked about earlier, this Border Patrol agent, I met twice, and I'm trying to find a good way to get into this, but I met twice with Secretary Mayorkas a couple months ago, and his comments and the President's comments on Border Patrol, this Border Patrolman, just completely asinine. I made the comment earlier that I don't think my president gets it. I don't think he gets it. He just, and it's okay. He doesn't get it. We're going to have to live with that. But the one that really, really upsets me is our Secretary Mayorkas. He's the one that I think I'm madder at him than at the president, because if you don't get it, you sort of, I'm not going to be able to make you understand, and it's push his ass out of the way and let's go to the next guy. But the secretary met with him twice, and I did still think, I thought he was a very smart man. I still think he's a very smart man. But you're going to hear comments about how to stop it, how to move it, what to do here later on. This man said it all. Both times, he knows the problem. He knows there's an issue. He knows how to slow it down. He knows how to stop it. And everything, we were in a meeting a couple months ago, probably the whole room's individuals in that room, they're all ran as Democrats, In a meeting 3 weeks ago, probably 95% in that room were Republicans. But everybody in both meetings were on the same page, same book, same sentence. You gotta stop the flow. We don't want you to slow it down. We need for you to stop it. And in both meetings, this man, Secretary Mayorkas, said that it would happen. You know, it's not happening. When you have 3,400 people flown back to their country out of anywhere between 16 to 21,000, depending on what number that's going to be, that percentage is very low. August 24th, received a text message that the Supreme Court had upheld the lower court ruling on individuals being sent back to point of origin or sent back to the interior. Well, the text that I got is sent back to Mexico. But, you know, we're not asking you to rewrite laws or to reinvent the wheel. It's already there. Just follow the rules, folks. You know, that's all we're asking. We're not saying, like me personally, that you shouldn't come, but there has to be a lawful and legal way to make this happen. What happened underneath the bridge, we can't have this again. We have a president that mandates vaccines, and you have healthcare workers that have decided to quit their job because they don't want the vaccine, but yet you allow 16,000 individuals into our country, not tested, not vaccinated. I mean, there's just something wrong. And then, you know, I could go on and on and on, but it's upsetting. You know, you're almost at a loss of words. You're just tired of running into the wall. You know, we have to do something. As a court, I mean, you know, it's frustrating. And we all see it. We all live in it. And people that don't believe it, you know, I'm not going to be able to get them to understand that there's a problem. This is going to happen. If this didn't open up their eyes, there's nothing else that can happen to open up individuals' their eyes to see that we have a problem. So, like I said, I could keep on. I ended up writing, you know, 4 pages of notes, but we're going to move on. It's really disturbing. Like I said, the president, I don't think he'll ever get it. So, you know, sort of beating on that bush, just staying in the work. I will say that just to be perfectly clear, for the president to comment on a board patrol officer that people will pay, that they will pay, that's just bullshit. It's not right. And then for our secretary to say that the horse was weaponized, nah, board patrol don't deserve it. Commissioner, I'm going to go ahead and go to your item before I really get in trouble.
It's okay, then I don't get in trouble.
Yeah. Well, the good thing about it, though, is that as a member of this court, and people need to realize that we have we stand together. So I'm going to go ahead and go to item 19. And if you get shit on, well, I'll get shit on. Item 19, discussion possible action to file a lawsuit against the United States Congress and the United States Senate for failure to hold the President of the United States accountable for violating the laws and Constitution of the United States by allowing the invasion of the southern border of the United States. Commissioner Nettleton.
I put this item on the agenda after the last, we say the last week or so of dealing with this. This isn't the last week or so. We've been dealing with this in Del Rio for years. And it's progressively getting worse as we see it going up and down the border. And we see the inability of our people in Washington to understand that there's a problem and willing to do something about it. For the Congress and the Senate to fail to hold the President accountable to enforce the laws, and Secretary Mayorkas to not do what is right and put these communities in jeopardy. We know there's another group coming. We already know there's another group of 19 or 20,000 that's headed to Texas. Are they coming to Del Rio? I don't know. They're going to Mission. We don't know where they're headed, but they're headed to Texas. And this is gonna happen all over again. This isn't the first time, this won't be the second or the third or the fourth time. But as we're dealing with this as American citizens, our Congress and Senate is sitting up there arguing with each other about whether to raise the debt ceiling to spend more money that we don't have because we can't pay our bills come October the 1st. And we continue to allow people into this country while our vets are homeless, people in this country are hurting, and for the Congress and the Senate not to hold the President and the staff of the President accountable for enforcing the laws and doing what is right by the citizens of America is inexcusable. And I blame the Congress and the Senate because at the end of the day, they set the laws. They pass the laws. It's their obligation to uphold the laws. It's the President's job to enforce the laws, not to allow what we saw here in Del Rio. And thank the Lord that the state of Texas stepped up and sent what they sent, and thank the Lord for the Border Patrol agents that we have. But when we have people in Washington vilifying our law enforcement the way they did, and trying to make heroes out of criminals, is completely and utterly inexcusable. And it's a disgrace to this country. When you cross the border illegally, you cross the border illegally. Our law enforcement has a job to do, and they can't do it with their hands tied. They have to be able to do what's right. And what we saw in Del Rio and what was put this community at risk, we will see again. Probably in the next few weeks, as this group gets to the Texas border, wherever that may be, we will see this again. And then we have, I watch a news deal where we have a congresswoman in a press conference asking people sponsor these people so that they can stay in America. That if they will call her office, she will get them in contact so they can sponsor them so these people won't be deported. When did we forget that we elect them to represent the people in this country? And it is time that we stand up and do something about it, because it's very apparent they're not going to do anything about it in Washington. I put these two items on the agenda because I'm sick and tired of this. I've watched it and watched it and watched it. And the amount of money that it costs our community to deal with this issue. And we're still putting numbers together on what that might be. And for the state of Texas to set aside $3 billion to deal with border issues that are a federal problem, it's $3 billion we could have used to improve our schools. It's $3 billion we could have used to improve our highway infrastructure. But we're having to do the federal government's job while they sit in Washington, the Congress and the Senate, and argue with each other and get absolutely nothing accomplished. We've talked about immigration reform for as long as I can remember. And both parties have had control of Washington at one point or another over the last 20 years. And we have failed to do anything about it other than to create the mess that we have today. It is inexcusable. And it is time that we get together with other counties and cities along the border and stand up and do something. I don't have the answer to whether a lawsuit solves this problem, but it draws attention to this problem. They took the same oath of office that I did, which was to uphold the Constitution and the law of the United States and the laws of the state of Texas. That was the oath that I took. They took the same oath. They need to comply with that oath and do their job and stop this mess that's going on. I am all for people coming to this country legally. That's what built this country. This is not a legal process. This is not the right way to do it. To put these communities, we had 50% of the population of this city was sitting underneath our international bridge. How is a town of this size with our tax base supposed to deal with that problem when it wasn't our problem to start with? It is a complete failure of everything that's going on in Washington for not just the last couple of years, but for many, many years. The Supreme Court upheld the Stay in Mexico deal. We ignored it, went on with our lives. We have no belief in the law anymore because nobody upholds the law. We just create our own. When we see the President of the United States ruling by executive order, while the Congress and the Senate sit on their butt and do nothing about it, it's no longer a democracy. That is a dictatorship. You know, I watched people that have the legal right to come over here from Mexico, did everything right, had their visas, did all the paperwork, got their vaccine cards, did everything, and they're not allowed to come over here. But we allow 15 or 20,000 or however many it was to cross our border illegally with absolutely nothing, and then spread them out all over this country. While we argue about whether we're going to raise the debt ceiling and issue trillions of dollars more in debt so that we can fund ourselves. And it's not us that's going to pay for this, it's our children and grandchildren. And we're going to leave them a mess if we don't do something about this. Can Val Verde County take this on by itself? Probably not. But we need to build a coalition of other counties and cities that are having these same issues and make a stand. It's time to make a stand. It's time to stop what is going on. And we need to go down that road. I don't want to put this county in that position, but we don't have a choice because this is going to happen again somewhere else. And it has to end. You know, when we do the things that I see in Washington and vilify our law enforcement and our Border Patrol agents the way they vilify it and crucify them before there's even an investigation, that is inexcusable. You know, I think every single one of those agents they kept this community safe. Because without them, we would have a mess. And I don't know what the hell happened to this country. This is not the country I grew up in, and this is not the country I'm willing to leave my children.
Second the motion, Judge.
I haven't made one yet. Wait a minute. It's sad. It really, really is. That we have representatives that we elect that could care less about American people. It is completely and utterly inexcusable that we have found ourselves in this mess. But right now, Del Rio, Texas, and Val Verde County are the center, and the whole entire world is watching us. And it is our chance to stand up and do something to make a statement and make a point that enough is enough. This needs to end. The President of the United States and the President of Mexico need to get together and come up with a solution. And I agree with the judge. Closing that bridge brought the attention that this needed. Because at the end of the day, the only thing anybody cares about in Washington is money. It's not about the American people. It's not about what's right and wrong anymore. It's about money. And that's what got everybody's attention. I think we need to build a coalition. I don't think this is something that Val Verde County can step off and do all by itself. So my motion would be to have the judge write letters to the counties and cities up and down the border and other counties around us to ask if they would join with us to move forward with litigation to force the President and the Congress and the Senate to once and for all resolve this, to fix immigration and to fix this problem. That's my motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Jesus, everybody. Told you we'll all go together. I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton. Yeah, second all three of the other commissioners. So we already know what the vote's gonna be, I need to take it. Commissioner Wardlaw, do you vote for or against? Motion. Commissioner Vasquez, for or against?
For.
Commissioner Nettleton?
For.
Commissioner Flores?
For.
The judge, 5-0 vote. I guess y'all can see everything that we're going through. I mean, it's just difficult. And you just feel like you just keep beating your head against the wall and ain't nobody listening. We're gonna go to item 20, I think, but we already took care of it. We can make a motion on that too. Discussion and possible action to file a lawsuit against President Joe Biden for failure to enforce the laws and Constitution of the United States and failure to abide by his oath of office to uphold the laws and Constitution of the United States, and for failure to protect and defend the border of the United States by allowing an invasion of the southern border of the United States.
I will make a motion to allow the judge to add into his letter, this provision to also, file litigation against the President of the United States and build a coalition to do that.
Okay. We have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, seconded by all three commissioners. I'll take a vote again. Commissioner Wardlaw, for or against?
For.
Commissioner Vasquez?
For.
Commissioner Nettleton?
Or,
Commissioner Flores?
For.
And the judge, for. Again, 5-0 vote. Jesus Christ.
and I apologize for getting
Why?
sentimental, but
Yeah, I wouldn't apologize. I cry all the time. If y'all don't mind, let's take a little break, a little 5-minute break, and then we'll come back and start with item 12 again. So we're gonna take a little 5-minute break if y'all don't mind. Thank y'all. Let's go to COVID.
that's not near as bad. Actually, our numbers are way down.
Recording in progress.
We keep on taking breaks, we're not gonna get done. I say, let's go into something more normal. Let's talk about COVID. Jesus Christ. Okay, we're gonna go to item 12, discussing matters relating to COVID. A lot of people got it. Our cases, are down. The 330 active cases, our age group has switched. I guess, there for the longest time, we're reporting the age group that had the most positive cases were 10 to 19. Now it's gone, 20 to 29. So, looks like our schools, individuals that are in school, those numbers have dropped. The number that's a little sad, we've got 243 individuals that have passed. I will tell you that there's a couple of families here in town that they've been really, really hit hard, either mom or dad, and there's one of the grandparents and some nieces and stuff like that. And there's a couple of families that have had that. Again, there is still vaccines available. Not going to mandate it. This court actually took action last week or last meeting not to mandate it for our employees. They can still come to work. But again, the vaccine's still available. Our cases are going down. So anybody have questions on COVID?
Do you know the one the school did for the kids? Do you know how many people they vaccinated? I know there was 700 or something. I was trying to remember, but it's not important. I'm just curious.
No, I can text right now. Hopefully we'll get a number before. They sent me like a bunch of stuff, but it's not on there.
Yeah, that's fine.
Judge, just to say something, last night we lost a young man here from Del Rio due to COVID.
Right, Mr. One?
It's okay.
Well-known family. And he's probably what, 40 years old, 40-something years
A
old?
little bit over 40.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty sad. I mean, you know, a lot of us are not vaccinated. I've always said it, how do we help each other? I mean, how do we protect our families if we're not vaccinated? But that's my opinion. I think we should, get vaccinated, as many people as possible.
And Commissioner, I agree with you. But it's one of those deals that, like, as we've all said, the whole court, it was a 5-0 vote, that
No, I
it should
understand.
be our opinion. No, I'm agreeing with you, Commissioner, I really am. The message needs to get put out that it's in our opinion, and we voted for it. So I can say it, that it's a good thing. But, since we're in that rock throwing process, for the president to demand it, I think it's an overreach, but that's just our opinion. And it's the court's opinion, so because it was a vote, so we can go ahead and say that. But there's been a lot of families, and like I say, that their lives have been touched, changed, because of individuals that have passed, and we still have quite a few individuals that are in the hospital in San Antonio. There's a couple of them that I know that in our reality probably won't make it. But it's just sad. It's just sad with everything else.
Could we do another vote in support of the vaccine?
Well, if y'all want to do a vote in support of the vaccine,
Just to express our,
we can do a motion in support of getting it, but not in support of demanding it.
right,
Is that a motion, Commissioner?
that's motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion, Commissioner Wardlaw, second, Commissioner Nettleton. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, 5-0 vote. Thank you, Commissioner. Any other discussion on item 12? None. Item 13, appointing 2 nominees for Middle Rio Grande. They changed that. Now it's just 1, because they missed it. I need somebody from the private sector, is what I need right now. I need a name from the private sector. I don't know, Mr. Martinez, Leo Martinez, we had appointed him or asked him to serve in, in the 2019 with his business. Like he called and he said, that he'd have to step down, he doesn't like doing anything halfway, and that his business, it was just taking more and more of his time, and he did not want to miss meetings. So, he kindly asked, or if it'd be okay for him to step down. So we appreciate the time that he served, but
Which board is it? Which part of the?
Lisa, do you have that?
Because I know you sit on that board, right?
Oh, yeah, we sit as one of
But
the chairs.
this is a subcommittee.
This is a subcommittee. You have that list, Lisa, or do I have it on me?
Just more curious what they're gonna represent, so maybe we can pick a name that could fit into that.
Let's do this. We'll go through. I thought you had a sheet. That's all right, Tom. I'll get out.
He was gonna make you anyway.
I'm glad he didn't throw it at me. Okay. Well, I can tell you who's gonna be serving with. He'll be serving with, Blanca. It says here, private sector, and it'll be in, the group is actually called private sector.
Oh,
So, yeah.
so it's a wide range. of stuff.
Yeah.
Not in just.
Now, they have education, economic development, they have all these, but this one is actually called private sector. I was actually looking for the subtitle.
Blanca Larson sits on?
She sits on it already. Out of here, we have 2 individuals, which would be Blanca and then somebody else. We've asked them to give us a name too, but we've not been given a name back. I can tell you, and sitting here, we've got people that represent us. It's Blanca, Rogelio Gonzalez, Mr. Ariola, Ori from the city, and Mr. Sanchez from labor. But this is a private sector, is what it says. We've got time. If y'all wanna just give me a name, and what we'll do is, give me a name, and then I don't need to bring it to the court. It was just something that I wanted y'all's input. But if y'all can come up with a name before the week's out, and then I'll submit it. Okay?
Okay.
All right, let's move on. Discussion and possible action on a resolution for adoption of the census. This is a census, this is not redistricting. The resolution y'all had in the packet.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay.
I mean, the numbers are the numbers. I can tell you I don't agree with them, but the numbers are the numbers.
I'll second that motion.
I think the numbers are not right, at least as far as my precinct is concerned. I can't speak for everybody else. But somewhere in this process, we missed a whole lot of people, in my opinion. I understand that COVID was going on and all those things were happening. The problem is it's so imperative that we get our numbers right because it deals with finances, it deals with future grants, it deals with all the things that make this county function. So, but that's what happened in the census, so we'll deal with what we got. So I'll make a motion to adopt the census as presented.
Okay, I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores. You already seconded, sir. I'm sorry. All those in favor?
Aye.
5-0 vote. Item 15, discussion possible action on redistricting. Y'all were presented with some plans. What do y'all want to do? I know what I want to do, so I'm gonna wait for y'all.
I mean, I drew up what I like. You drew up an option 3, which gets pretty close to what I was wanting, at least in my
I
precinct.
think in that option 3 actually went to option 1 now.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna do this, just to get things started, and we'll just go from here. I'll make a motion that we adopt option 1.
Which, wait. Is that,
It's the one that, basically leaves,
I'll second that motion, Judge.
and we'll have some discussion.
that's this one.
That's
Yeah, this one.
that.
This one I just said. Gives him this little piece to go.
I don't know if the numbers were. I think we're gonna shoot some numbers.
Just one. This is 7.
Okay, I have a motion and I have a second. And before we do anything, we'll have a discussion. They're trying to give me one land, Russ. Okay. Which one was that? The one that you.
The one that I showed is option 3.
We have a motion and a second on option 1. The discussion is that Commissioner Nettleton likes option 3. The only thing with option 3 is that we move a lot of the bottom end up. You see the bottom?
It gets your percentages closer. And then this. I mean, it's up to the board on it.
Okay. We're gonna go step by step then. So what we're gonna do is I've got a motion for option 1, and I've got a second. The motion was, mine. Second was Commissioner Flores. So we're gonna take a vote, for option 1. Commissioner Wardlaw?
No.
Okay. Commissioner Vasquez? For option 1?
No.
Okay. Commissioner Nettleton?
No.
Okay. Commissioner Flores?
Yes.
And myself, yes. All right. So anybody else have anything else?
I've got a motion on option F.
Which one?
Okay. Did you get
Option
that?
3.
Yeah, I got it.
Did you get option F?
Yeah, I got it.
I have a motion on option F. Do I have a second?
I'll second it for discussion.
Okay, I have a second, Commissioner Nettleton.
Any comments? What does this option do as far as, now, this shows a 5.90% deviation. What does that mean?
Between the high and the low?
That means that the difference between the highest and the lowest, that number divided by the ideal is 5%. And as long as it's 10% or less, it's constitutional.
And then you have to comply with all the other pieces, right, isn't it? On diversity.
Yeah, there's two major laws. There's the one person, one vote rule, equal protection clause. Representation is based on population, total population should be equal. And the second one is a federal statute that requires that there's no, when you redraw the lines, that it doesn't dilute the voting strength of protected racial minorities.
And does that
Yes, sir.
plan comply with that?
All the plans we've talked about comply with those.
And then don't we still have to establish voting precincts and all the other pieces?
Yes, sir.
There's more to this than just
Yes.
adopting a plan.
That's correct, sir. Yes, sir.
What are the other pieces that we need to do?
Well, the other pieces, I'll send the shape files, whatever plan you, the Secretary of State's office and also to the Texas Legislative Council. So they can integrate it into their, voting precincts. And your elections office here also has to be aware of, if we split any, I don't think we split any voting precincts. And if we did, there were minor judges.
Yeah.
But we did move voting precincts from one place to the other. All they have to do is redesignate those precincts.
Well, because what I would like to do, when we get to the voting part, we currently have 17 voting precincts in this county. It's very difficult to find enough workers to work 17. I would like to see us redraw that to where we have 3 voting precincts
Y'all are not gonna like my
per
comment.
commissioner's precinct, so then that leaves us with 12, which makes it a little easier. Now, visiting with Janie, I understand there's some issue about how you have to draw those voting precincts, and I don't.
Well, the main issue you have to look at is that you cannot have a voting precinct that has more than 5,000 registered voters. As long as that number is below 5,000, then you can,
So it would be very difficult to accomplish doing it in 3 then, if 5,000 is the magic number.
yeah, 5,000. I don't know what the registration rate is here, but
We have 27,000 something
registered voters, yeah.
Now, whether
You have
they
to have-
actually still exist or not, I don't know. But that's how we register.
Yeah, those
27,
lists.
Janie, not there.
But we could come up with this and then we could go back to the polling places. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
And we'll go ahead and do that, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, I realize we have to have kind of the plan, and we can figure out the other pieces that go with it.
Yes, sir. You just can't have elections until you equalize the population.
Yeah.
And I have concerns
Those-
over a lot of the different plans, you know, the change of, I know they're still going back and forth back here on the change between precinct 1 and 4.
And when you get done with yours, I'll make a comment.
Judge, could we postpone this till next
Well, I'm
meeting?
gonna make a comment because we have a motion and we have a second. And I will tell you that I don't believe in moving the lines in order to get a son into your precinct. We had that conversation before, and I told y'all that I would not vote to draw anybody in or anybody out. That's my comment. Now, if you want to change your motion now, you change your motion. But I do not agree, and I know this court has been together on everything else, but I do not agree to do something to draw a son into a precinct. That's, in my opinion, unacceptable. So if you want to change your motion, you change your motion, sir. If you want to vote on it, we'll take a vote. If you want to withdraw your motion and make a motion to
I'll
table.
withdraw my motion.
Do I have a motion to table?
It was
Commissioner Warlock, you want?
Oh,
He withdrew a second. You withdraw your motion, sir.
Withdraw.
Okay. Do I have a
I'll
motion to
second.
table?
I'll make a motion to table.
Commissioner Nettleton, table. Second was Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Aye, 5-0 vote. Item 16, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Discussion and possible action on precinct workers working on Operation Lone Star. We had precinct workers that worked overtime, recorded already approved for the deputies to get paid overtime.
I will make a motion to, we're talking about the.
It was precinct workers and even building maintenance. They took light towers and ice.
I'll make a motion to authorize the precinct workers and building maintenance fairgrounds people are to be paid overtime
I'll second that.
only on Operation Lone Star.
Judge, I've got a question. Precinct 4, I mean, we assisted DPS and the state with the fence line and clearing roads down there on the Vega.
I think,
I mean, while there was immigrants coming through and everything.
I understand that. But your motion is for the people down there to do it. Okay.
Let me rephrase my motion. So
Okay.
I make a motion to pay overtime to the precinct workers and the fairgrounds workers that work the actual, what do we call this?
The incident at the bridge.
What do we call this?
Yeah.
The dock at the bridge, for the actual action of moving the 16,000. That's it. And we are paying SO
Yes.
for their,
Correct. SO's currently covered, and we don't have to worry about overtime with them. They're already in that overtime bucket. They are segregated. The precinct workers, just your decision on if you want to be exempt, we're also included in this, and this is going to fall on FMLA.
no.
Actual,
non-exempt.
okay, not exempt?
Just
Okay.
regular,
Regular,
non-exempt employees.
and it's going for actual hours worked, not including.
On, yes.
Okay,
on
actual-
this- Anything that's incident for the last, what is it,
2
week
weeks.
and a half, 2 weeks, whatever it is.
No, there may be some that have to leave during the week. That's where the rub's gonna be.
Okay.
Because they-
We can work through it.
Okay.
We'll work through it.
Okay.
As long as there's funds available that the courts approve
Yeah, as
funds.
long as they work that, they'll get it in overtime.
Right, and it'll be general fund.
So they're not getting comp time, they're getting overtime.
Yes.
Correct.
I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, Commissioner Vasquez accepted the changes. All those in favor?
Aye.
5-0 vote. Item 17, approving to apply for Operation Lone Star through the governor's office. This is a grant that was brought to us. I think this is the boat and all that. Park. Approving to apply for Operation Lone Star grant from the governor's office. This is that grant, right?
I'll make a motion to approve. How much were you applying for?
250 was the max.
No, this is different.
This is different?
This is different. The other one was a border zone fire department. This has to do with strictly the border operations. I believe the sheriff's department some time back put in a preliminary request to the governor's
This
office.
is the one that we're working on the numbers for everybody.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, and so, it's part of the $2 billion, deal that the governor, that the legislature passed. About 5% of that is going to, border counties for Operation Lone Star. And so between now and November 1st, which is the deadline to apply, you can, submit your proposed expenditures or budget for the courts, the jail, law enforcement, equipment, whatever the case
And I
may
think
be.
on Friday was the numbers that everybody started working on.
Right.
I know that we put numbers together before, but Tom on Friday started calling everybody again. Yeah, to get an updated dollar amount to move forward.
Right.
This is for expenditures we've already expended or for future?
No,
Future.
start date's September 1st,
Okay, so
2021,
anything that we would need for the future.
2 years through August 31st, 2023.
Okay.
And the numbers are being broke down because we had a list of numbers that were like 340,000 before September 1st. But that's one of the ones that we're actually looking at also.
Yeah.
And we were given a name by the governor, when he was down here, this past week, that we had not received a name of who to turn it into. So we've got a name and we've got a phone number now of who to turn the building to.
I don't know what we're asking for in this, but there are other things I don't know, like light towers, if we have enough.
Well, and on the 250,000 that we'd be applying for, we were sort of making a wish list on that. There was the boat, there was light towers. One of the things that we absolutely know that we need, is a place for these people to go in and just take a break, whether it be a command center or somewhere. You know, the days, well, every day, but the days that it hit over 100 degrees and you're wearing a vest, and I mean, it's just, since you're there 12 and a half hours, you know, some of them, I mean, it's just, you know.
Kind of like the operation I've seen that, San Antonio, Bear County has a big, huge motorhomes that have beds and.
Just something that, like I said, we were making a list, and we actually got with the sheriff, last week, and told him we sort of need to, while we're here walking around, you know, write it on a piece of paper on your hand, or that way we can, make that list. But the boat was, Chief Bullard and them, they'd already got a price on a boat. They'd actually gone to go talk, to individuals, so we got that price, I think, right around the $40,000 mark. The light towers, we knew that we have one that the county has, and then Commissioner Vasquez had, three more that he provided down there, so we know that, you know, Jesus Christ, you're gonna need at least 5 or 6.
Yeah.
The other thing that just restrooms. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, there was no place, I mean, you know, like I told, the sheriff, you know, well, can't exactly say what I said, told the sheriff, but we do need a place for them to go to the restroom without, and, you know, just to be able to take off their vest and, you know, get changed, rechange, get back out, because this is a long process. So there is a list that we're coming up with to apply for that 250,000.
Perfect. Judge, there is a command center for sale under the surplus,
Over in San Antonio?
yes, and it could be refurbished, fixed up, it's,
Okay. We'll call when we leave here. We'll call and see what it looks like.
because I know you expressed that you would like to have a command center.
I'd like to have a helicopter, but they're not getting it. Sheriff's getting a boat, but I'm not getting a helicopter. There's something wrong with that picture.
Yeah. He said some better drones, too, some bigger drones that would be able to do better.
Yeah, it was, you know, like when you're walking around down there, you're sort of writing stuff that everybody else has, and you don't realize that you need it until you have something like this, and it's like, golly, that didn't make sense to go spend another $8,000-9,000 on a bigger drone. And then to get somebody trained, it's like everything else, you go buy it, and then you gotta go get them trained.
We have to have one.
Yeah.
He's fixing to go get recertified.
Is that the one the county bought, or is that?
No, the one that we bought sitting in Jerry's office, I think. Nobody ever got.
We never got trained to use it.
No, they won't let me fly it. Yeah, he told me not to show up, yeah.
Hey, you might as well fly if you know what else is using it.
And so we'll come back to the court with a resolution to, maybe at the next meeting, to authorize the application.
I had a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, who seconded it? I started talking.
I'll second it.
Commissioner Vasquez, all those in favor?
Aye.
5-0 vote. Item 18, thank you, Carl. Discussion possible action ratifying a local agreement between the City of Del Rio and Valverde County for Mutual Family Violence Protection Program. It's the battered woman charge.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion.
They're still helping us with funding on that.
Yes, they sure are. We thank them for it. Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores, all those in favor? Aye, 5-0 vote. It was done 19 and 20. Item 21, approval of replat establishing Lot A out of lots 49 and 50 of the Rancho Agua Vista subdivision, Unit 2 and Unit 3, previously recorded slide 407, Valverde County map of record.
No,
Second.
this did go before Amistad Zoning, and it got approved.
It was approved by Amistad on last meeting.
I've got a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores, all those in favor? Aye, 5-0 vote. Item 22, revision or replat establishing Lot A, Rio, Lot A, that don't flow. Lot A, Rio out of lots 3, 6, and 7, Block 5, Diablo South subdivision, previously recorded under Volume 5, pages 16 through 18, Valverde County map of record.
Second.
Motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Vasquez, all those in favor? Aye, 5-0 vote. Item 23, discussion and possible action on request for zoning change for Lot 105, Phase 3A, Lake Ridge, a ranch subdivision from residential to commercial district.
I'll make a motion to deny the rezoning of lot 105.
Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, to deny. This was something that went before Amistad Land Use, and their recommendation also was, for the record, to deny. So I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, and I have a second, Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye? Everybody aye? Aye, 5-0 vote. Item 24, approval to go out for formal bids for a capital expense purchase of a semi-truck for Precinct 1.
Motion.
Second.
Motion, Commissioner Wardlaw, second, Commissioner Nettleton. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, 5-0 vote. Item 25, award hail damage roof repair to Paragon Roofing using Co-op Tips contract number 200201 in the amount of $286,788 for the county courthouse. And this is insurance money, and it's all.
Move.
Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second, Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Aye, 5-0 vote. Item 26, authorization to approve Innovative Concept as a sole source vendor for the purchase of the Training C3 Child Passenger Safety Vehicle Simulator to be purchased for the Sheriff's Office in the amount of $1,995 and to be paid from Sheriff's operating account.
Move.
I have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second, Commissioner Nettleton. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, 5-0 vote. Item 27, ratification of an MOU between Valverde County and the Del Rio Middle School on behalf of Coach McCray for the use of county bleachers.
Move.
Second.
I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second, Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye, 5-0 vote. Item 28, approving of an MOU between Valverde County and the Del Rio High School Ram Band on behalf of Hector Guerra for the use of county bleachers.
Move.
Second.
A motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second, Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. 5-0 votes. Nobody against, right? No, we're good. Item 29, Sheriff Joe Frank Martinez is asking authorization to accept the 2022 Sheriff's and Constable fees report. Everything that we've talked to before is in the report.
Motion to approve is presented.
Have a motion,
Second.
Commissioner Nettleton. Who seconded?
Second.
Somebody make up the motion. Who seconded?
It don't matter.
Commissioner
Put down whatever you want. Whatever you want.
Second, Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Aye. 5-0 vote. Item 30, discussion possible action to allow CVS staff to set up at courthouse and administer flu shots to county employees.
I'll make a motion to approve. Is this costing our employees anything?
It goes under the insurance,
Yeah,
under the wellness,
You should.
but we don't pay, they don't pay.
Second.
Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second, Commissioner Flores. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, 5-0 vote. Item 31, discussion and possible action on the workers' compensation program renewal questionnaire and authorize county judge to sign.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second, Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye, 5-0 vote. Item 32, we're getting close, folks. Proven human resource report from September 15, 2021 through September 28, 2028.
Motion to approve.
2021.
2021.
Second.
I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second, Commissioner Vasquez. I heard that. All in favor? Aye, 5-0 vote. Again, we're getting close. Item 33, no need anymore. We already went in. Are we good with that, David? Mr. Martinez, we're good. Item 34, Commissioners' comments. Is there any? Item 35, Judges' comments. None. Item 36, Commissioners' courts adjourned. Y'all have a great day.